King Nappy. I'm back with you guys with my take and a review on one of the most recent Netflix series that I've sat and watched and really enjoyed. I wanted to talk about the Netflix series You. This series, I believe it hit in 2018 or 19 on Netflix. An excellent show so far for the season that I've seen. And I've seen movies that are something that are similar to this, driven by an obsession from one person to the next. One person seeing this person and they are attracted, they find themselves in love with them, and they begin to become a little more obsessed and really possessive and over the top, and it goes from one extreme to the next. Like I've seen a few films that sort of has that narrative, but this one is done in a way where you begin to, in a way, develop understanding for the person and the obsession. Oftentimes, the person with the obsession is looked at as over the top, and no one, you can't really relate to it. You don't really understand it. It goes from something that you could understand to something that you don't. But in this one, it paces it really well at keeping both of those factors throughout the film, and just pacing it, both of them parallel throughout the series. This series comes from a novel, or it originated from a novel called You by Caroline Kepnes. I think it's Caroline or Carolyn. And this novel was produced, this novel was released in 2014. They went ahead and made an adaptation of it, a film series on Netflix. And it's pretty cool. It's like a psychological thriller sort of setting. And they pace it really well. They set it up really nicely. The main characters, Joe and Beck, are incredible. Train those characters and really getting the audience to deposit something into them, depositing the energy and the thought process into these characters. They did a really good job at developing that and being able to cash in on that. Joe, I like his character. One of the things that I like about him is how kind-hearted he is. Genuinely a nice person, generally has a good sense of well-being for other people, especially his friends. Seeing him take up for Paco the way that he did and always looking out for him, even though he was crossing a line a lot of times, he in his own mind was doing it for a good reason. And you definitely don't want to see the kid get abused by the dad or the stepdad. Definitely don't want to see the kid get hurt in any way, and Joe was in his own way looking to prevent that and looking to stop that. And that much I can respect. It was always weird how Joe would do something with good intention, but he would just go to the extreme, to the next extreme with it. He was extremely observant. I found myself to be observant, and I found myself watching people, paying attention to things that I don't really know that I'm paying attention to. And it was really cool to see that kind of an attribute and quality in a guy, and seeing that he paid such close attention to every detail about her. And he had a great sense of understanding towards her and just analyzed her and paid attention to a lot of little small little quirks that she had going on. In a relationship in real life, a woman would look at that as a good thing, that you pay attention to maybe how she changed her hair or her makeup. She did something new with her nails, or a new outfit that she may have purchased. She's slimming down a little bit, and then you may say something like, "Oh, I noticed that." A lot of women will respond to that. They look for those little cues for a guy to let them know, "Hey, I see you, I'm paying attention to you, I'm watching you," kind of thing. But not too much. Not when you're getting overboard and you're taking things a little too far. That's a genuine concern for people, and a genuine concern for Beck and Paco. looking after Paco. He had a great love for literature and just his the attention to detail with books. You know, just the fact that he admired reading and he admired literature and old-fashioned literature. He admired text and things like that. It's a bit more slow-paced and requires attention and detail to find yourself in that field of profession. And to some women, that may be, that may be attractive to some women. Some women may like that because they feel like you can show a sense of patience, gratitude for the simple things. It was, to me, it was a lot that went into that, especially him being such a caretaker of the books as he was. He was very protective, even though they portrayed him not to be much of like a fighter or anything like that. He was always well capable of doing it. They didn't portray him as a killer or anything like that right off the bat. But he had the ability to execute and get something done if he was driven enough to do it. And that was always good to see his character display characteristics that he necessarily wasn't inclined with. One of the cons that probably my only con with Joe is everything that he did, he took everything to the extreme. So if he was doing something good, he would take it to the extreme. He did something bad, he would take it to the extreme. He would want to look after Beck, but he would do so many things wrong just to accomplish that goal. To some degree, you want a person that'll do just about anything to make sure you're good. They'll go to any length to make sure you're safe and protected. But it just becomes a little much when you're going to any length, you're going to any measure. Like seeing him always take things from one extreme to the next. That was annoying. Beck, played by Elizabeth Leo, she is effortless. Just the way she looks, her eyes, it literally looks like she's learning her way, like she's learning the environment around her, and she's literally figuring things out like day by day. You can look at her face and see like she's learning about herself consequently through the existence of her friends. But she has this look about her that is mesmerizing. She kind of favors Jennifer Lawrence in a way to me, which I think was pretty cool that her name was Jennifer, and a version of Jennifer in the show. She just has these sweet and lolling eyes that draw you into every scene that she's in. One of the parts that I remember the most just about her appearance and just aesthetically how she looks is when Joe is following her and she finally catches on. And she was across the street. He was looking for her. He lost track of her. He turns around, the camera pans behind him, and she's behind him, and she's like staring at him, and she has this huge puzzled look on her face, but angry at the same time. And it was just so magnetic, just the energy that she brings to the screen when she's on it. How she portrayed herself to be so dedicated to Peach, and just how Peach would go to any length to keep Beck on a leash and to keep her at bay, keep her close by her, going the length of fake committing suicide and going to the hospital and all these things pulling on Beck's emotional cords. And just the way Beck was portraying that gullibleness and that sense of being naive, it was just amazing. Just seeing that level of acting and seeing that skill and seeing it being displayed effortlessly. It was that was pleasing to watch. This show is really good. I think they paced it really well. It didn't take itself too seriously. A lot of great funny moments in it, but not too many. It wasn't necessarily scary the way people were thinking it would be, but it was more so, like I said, a thriller, psychological, kind of just picking at the brain a little bit and provoking some thought. And the fact that it's sort of somewhat relatable. You know, everybody can relate to a guy or a girl that maybe paid them a little too much attention, that will go that extra mile to either be around them, get close to them, get in contact with them, to find them. I think everyone has had that incident or that run-in at one point in their lives with someone. One of the things that I didn't like was the lack of attention that people were paying. It seemed like Joe paid the most attention out of every character on the show, besides Peach. Peach was actually one of the few characters that was like, what is this? What's going on here? And I like the fact that she just wasn't so easily tricked or fooled or gullible for everything. But everybody else seemed just really, really gullible, really naive. No one really paid attention to their surroundings. Joe would be in a lot of scenes walking right past people with a baseball hat on, and no one would notice. No one would catch on to that was him. And that was annoying. You know, you standing outside someone's window on a main street or a busy street in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, with a hat on, just staring in this girl's window. And she constantly had her window open. You know, she's doing all these different things, cooking and reading, getting intimate, and her window is wide open. And you're right in the middle of town. You know, it seemed like it was a busy street. It just wasn't making sense. When she's walking, he literally walked right past her and she wouldn't notice. All because he has a hat on. And it was just, some parts were just a little unrealistic to me. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like how easily people were just falling for things and not asking questions and not looking around, not paying attention. But other than that, the season 1 was really good. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers on it. If I haven't already, I'll go back through the video just to double check and make sure. But excellent show. I recommend anybody check it out, anybody watch it. If I was rating the first season 1 out of 10, I would give it a solid either 8.5 or a 9. I would give it a solid 8.5, 9. I'm leaning more so towards 9 because I was really captivated by the show. Really couldn't wait till the next episode and being able to sit and just binge watch through the whole thing. I had to control myself and like, nope, not gonna watch this whole thing. I'm gonna take our time and just really digest what's really happening in this show. But yeah, it was just an amazing show. Being able to do a little bit of background check and give us a little bit of backstory on Joe, give us a little bit of a backstory on Beck and some things that she dealt with her childhood and what Joe dealt with his, I believe it was his foster care dad, I'm not sure. And just how he was treated by him and seeing Joe kind of implement that same behavior. It was a really good show. I can't wait till me and the wife watch season 2 and we can get into that and digest it and kind of talk about it a little bit. We're going to do possibly a podcast tonight maybe. And we'll kind of talk about how we felt about the film together on that. And yeah, I will catch you guys later. That is my thoughts and my take on Netflix series You. It's really good. I like it. It took an old concept or a used concept and kind of refreshed it a little bit just by tweaking some of the arcs of the characters. And it was done right. It was done excellently. I will catch you guys later. Peace.